Video walkthrough on a Mallard M32. We're starting the back. You are pre-wired for a backup camera. This does not have one, it's just strictly pre-wired for one. If you opted for one, it comes with its own screen. Unfortunately, can't sync to the screen in your truck. And then it lends power, but it gets power from these marker lights up there. So the running lights that would turn these lights on, that needs to be on, that would turn the camera on. Spot for a grill. Pull this pin, pivots out. And you can have a propane quick disconnect over there for it. Outdoor shower, which is nice. You do have cold and hot out here. You won't be doing much showering out here, but this does come out. Rinse yourself off, spray yourself down. Pet, kids, spray their feet down, you know. City water inlet, so if you're going somewhere that provides water, that's where you hook it up through. Cable inlet, so if wherever you're going provide cable, you can hook it up into there. Slide seals, every once in a while, I just want to inspect them, make sure they're not dry, cracked, or rotted, or anything like that. Once in a while, definitely recommend getting what's done called the slide maintenance. You can have us do it, or you can do it yourself. All it does is involves us cleaning the seals and then spraying on a seal protector, a conditioner, really, to help condition these seals. We sell that product here, so if you wanted to do it yourself, you could that way too. Short cord. This is our shop cord. You actually have your short cord. It'll be in one of the compartments. It's actually wound up right there. It's 50 amp. Most of them are 25, 30 feet long. You twist this on, and then there'll be another piece that you can twist it on that threads onto here with the tabs you lined up to help keep it from accidentally getting unplugged. Here's where you dump everything. So, there will be a cap on this, so don't be alarmed. Once the cap is on, remember that before you take it off to make sure that these are all the way closed. Usually the one on your left is your gray tank, one on your right is your black tank. I recommend doing your black tank first, letting that get dumped, then doing your gray tank. The gray tank will flush out your sewer hose, so when you pick it up to move it around, it's not dripping in black tank water. Speaking of sewer hoses, perfect spot to store that is in the bumper cap. Coming along. It's the same deal with these seals on the sides. I mean, same, different sides, same concept. Just make sure they're not dry or anything. There's no lubrication that you add to these cables, so don't do anything with that. Keep these on. These are seal flippers. So when the slide's coming out, it'll help flip the seal in and out. So when it's rolled out, the seal isn't tucked in like that or anything like that. If you ever see that, just pull it out, it'll be fine. Here's that grill. Here's a couple extra cranks. One of the cranks a backup for your tongue jack. One of them's a manual backup for your stabilizer jacks. Do have a light for up in here. There's a light switch right here. Turns on and on. These LEDs up front. Nice pass-through storage. Big amount of storage in here, which is nice. A lot of good information here. Most important number I tell people is the tire pressure 80 psi. That's what they're checked to. I definitely recommend checking before each trip. And some other important numbers is your gross vehicle weight rating is 8,600 pounds. That's not the dry weight of the trailer. That's the most this will ever weigh. That's the max weight. That includes cargo carrying capacity, includes the dry weight, all of that. Cargo carrying capacity of 1,522 pounds. So don't overload your trailer. You get about that. Water does count as cargo too. Pre-wired for solar, you have to use the Fusion brand solar kit. Hook it through there, set the panel wherever you need it to. Trickle charge the battery. You have a battery disconnector right here, so you can see on the top it's green. Means it's good, the battery is connected. If it's going to be a while between trips, I'd recommend, disconnecting that battery. That'll keep anything from unintentionally draining the battery using battery voltage. However, if you are plugging this in during storage, this charges when it plugs in. And if you disconnect the battery here, this is how it would look like if it was disconnected. If you disconnected the battery like that, now the charge won't reach the battery because you've disconnected it. So, if you want it to charge when you're plugged in, make sure the battery is connected. Just turn all your lights off so you don't have your lights all on. Dual 30-pound cylinders, freshly filled. They're off now. This is your regulator. Where it's pointing to is the one it's going to pull from first. So if it's pointing here, it's going to pull from this tank first. If this one were to get emptied and this one were to be on, this will automatically move over. Well, sorry, this won't move over, but this will switch to pulling off of this tank. What I meant to say was this won't move over when it switches. So this one will be empty. Small diaphragm in here opens up and it switches to this tank. However, this won't move, indicating it switches. So you have no real way of telling it has switched tanks. So keep that in mind. And then some people think if you put it in the middle like that, it's going to pull from both of them equally. It doesn't work. It's just one or the other. Power tongue jack with a LED light. Beats hand cranking it. You can also open this Weber cap up, give you access to the, basically it's a nut, 3/4-inch nut. It's a manual backup for it. In case this were to fail, the power in it, you can still raise and lower it. Chains, when you hook up, cross them. 7-way, that's going to hook to your truck, allow your trailer, brakes, and lights and turn signals and whatnot to work. Breakaway, that gets hooked there. So if this would have ever come done from your tow vehicle, it's going to pull the pin out of that box. This pin, that little black pin right there, activate the brakes on the trailer. Other access to that pass-through, you have the propane line for that propane disconnect. For the grill, outdoor grill, complimentary tire cover. Here are your controls for your landing gear. So this bottom one's going to be the front one, the top one's going to be the rear one. These are not leveling jacks. They're not meant to pick up the weight of the camper. They're just for stabilizing, getting the kind of the shake and shimmy out of everything. So if you want your trailer to be level, you're going to use your power tongue jack to raise and lower the front and back. That's going to be a lot better than these. Sometimes you do have to flip the pads up by hand to keep them, like how that other one was kind of weird. Sometimes you just got to flip them up by hand. The more you use them, the more they're kind of loosen up and be easier. Like I said, these aren't for lifting up the camper. They can't handle picking up the weight of the trailer. They're just for stabilizing. If you want it level front to back, use your tongue jack. If you're really worried about side by side as you back into the campground, blocks underneath your tires, level side to side, then you can snug those down, get all the shake and shimmy out of everything. If you're on grass or loose gravel, sand, dirt, I recommend blocks underneath those two, because even though they're about a 4x4 pad, they'll still kind of sink in the dirt. Water heater is very simple to use. The only thing you guys will have to do is put your plug in. The drain plug goes in here. Get it started by hand, tighten it up the rest of the way. 15/16 is the socket size for that. Once it's full, as soon as you hook it water, whether it be from your city water or turning your pump on because you filled your fresh tank, which we'll get to in a few seconds or a few minutes, it'll start filling, and then you go to turn it on. All your controls are on the inside. I definitely recommend cleaning it every once in a while. Clean in here, make sure it's clean in here, make sure it's clean in there. You can use compressor air to blow it. Just keep in mind, whatever you blow in through here is going to come out here. So keep your face clear. And then I definitely recommend draining it as often as you can, just so it's not sitting full of water. So before you drain it, before you pull your plug back out to drain it, shut off your source of water. So if you're through city water, turn off the hose. If you're running from your pump, turn your pump off. Then you can open up your pressure relief right here. Water will squirt out here. Once it stops, snap it closed. Then you can pull your drain plug out. If you neglect to do that first and you just go straight to taking this out, you're going to get a bath. It's going to be no fun. Here is where you will fill your onboard fresh tank. So if you are going somewhere that doesn't provide water, but you know you want to have some water, you can fill this up at home with some water and be able to run your pump to pull from there. Recommend draining this after every trip, just like your water heater, so it doesn't sit, become stagnant. You drain for that. It's right there. Up here is your range hood. The vent, the exterior vent for your range hood. So if you are going to have the fan on your range hood on, make sure that this is open so it actually has somewhere to vent out to. If not, just close it. Fridge vent, the exhaust is on the roof. This is just for airflow for the fridge. Keep it clean. Same thing with your furnace, man. Keep these things clean. The better you can clean them, the longer they're going to last. If you see anything in there, do not use compressed air on this because you'll just blow it further in there. If you can, pick it out, clean it out of there. Neat feature about this camper is a lot of the modern ones do have this as a black tank flush. You can hook your hose up to here as you're dumping your black tank. Screw the hose into there, turn it on. There's a nozzle built into the black tank. It'll kind of flush everything out. I recommend doing that every time you dump. That way it'll help prevent a smell from building up. Big outdoor kitchen, very nice. GFCI protected outlet. You do have another GFCI protected outlet over there. All your GFCIs are on the same circuit. If one were to go, they're all gonna go. When we go inside, I'll show you that. Cable outlet, so if you wanted to have a TV out here, you could. Light switch. Sink out here, which is nice. Slide out countertop space, and then plenty of storage here. This fridge works just like a mini fridge. It won't work like the fridge in the camper, so if you're not plugged in, this won't work. Alright, that's pretty much it for the outside. We'll mosey our way onto the inside. In here, not a whole heck of a lot. Bedroom, you do have a light switch up there which does these nice decorative LEDs over here, and then an outlet in there, as well as an outlet over there, and then outlet over there with USB port on either side. Storage up underneath your bed, as well as some cubbies down there as well. Your bedroom doors, there aren't sliders, they slide. Just please remember that when you are driving, to retain these so they're not sliding all over the place. Light switch is for the bedroom in here. This is for Wi-Fi extender. It's not on the roof. It's just pre-wired, so it already has a switch here. That's something you'd have to install in the future if you'd like to. TV, a spot for a TV, which is really nice. This does swivel around, so if you were to have both of these doors open, this whole thing will swivel, and then you'll have TV into the bedroom area. Then you have a spot to plug the radio into your TV, so you can have your TV audio pumped through the radio, or pop a DVD in here. It's a standard definition DVD player, and play music throughout the camper. Oop. So FM, so you have different zones. Zone 1 is inside, so you can turn the inside speakers off. Zone 2 is outside, so you can turn the outside speakers off. Presets 1 through 6, push and hold to save a preset. You have play, pause, stop, rewind, fast forward, Bluetooth, and then mode selection. Auxiliary, headphones, and then USB port. USB port does not interface with the radio, it just allows it to charge your phone if you plugged in. Volume, and then power button. Very simple. Spot to plug in a TV. This is your coax outlet. If you're going to use your cable, if you hook your cable, leave this off. If you're on your antenna, leave that on. Here you got all kinds of light switches. One on the left, main lights. One on the right, awning lights. Down here you have your controls for your awning. So out. Awning does not stop automatically when it's reached its outward position. That's going to be something you have to do. You have to let go of the switch when it's all the way out. And when you see the bare metal tube, just like that, you know your awning is all the way open. It is adjustable for pitch. See these parts right here? You kind of need two hands to do this, but you pinch this in. One on either side. See right there. And then you grab this, push and pull. So this would lower it that side, it would lower the corner. So if it was raining, you could have water pitch off to the corner rather than all the way along the edge. If it starts pouring, roll your awning in. You don't want the rain to whip it away. And if you adjusted these to different heights, make sure they're at the same setting when you roll it in. So right now they're both all the way down. If you had them in the middle, make sure they're both in the middle before you close it. Then we'll roll it back in. Switch next to that does your awning, and then you have another GFCI outlet right there. Well, not awning, rather. We're covering the awning right now, so your slide out right in there. Microwave works like a standard household microwave. You're not plugged in, it's not going to work. This is the light on the fan. Like I was saying, if you're going to run this fan, make sure you have that flap on the outside open. Cooktop's very simple to use. Turn these to high, twist your sparker, light right up. Gas is also not going to light. Oven's a little bit different. You turn this to the flame, push and hold as you're pushing holding the flame in like that. You're going to twist your sparker. What you're looking for is, there's a pilot in there. You're looking for that pilot to get lit. Once it is lit, you can stop pushing this in, let go. It should stay lit. If not, just keep trying. Then you turn it to your desired temperature. Then when you're done, you can either turn it off to the flame, which will leave that pilot lit, but shut the burner off. Definitely recommend turning it completely off if you're going to leave your trailer unattended. You do have a light, which does your oven light, as well as these knobs there. Fridge. Nice thing about this fridge is this is all a chalkboard, so it's perfect for the kiddos. Fridge is super simple. You have on or off, auto, or gas. So right now it's on auto. Recommend leaving on auto. Auto's going to default to 110. So if someone were to unplug you, it'll switch automatically to running off of propane. As soon as you get plugged back in, it'll switch right back to running off of electric. You still need 12 volts, so you still need battery power. Either way, gas or electric. And doesn't matter whether you're running on gas or electric. This does take about 8 to 10 hours to get the operating temperature, so keep that in mind. Big blue book is going to have your manuals, and here's that cap for that. You can have all your manuals and your remotes for like your radio. All that's going to be in your big blue book, which we will put right here. So there you know. There you know where that is. That covers it for the fridge. If this turns into a bed, it's very simple. Lift the table up, pop the legs off the table. We'll kind of sit here. Just got to play puzzle, reorganize these cushions to fill in the gap. This right here turns into a bed as well. Unvelcro these, lift this up. It'll pull out kind of like an upside down V. Lay flat. There's legs you got to unfold. And then this back push and we'll fold back down again. Hard to do while filming and one-handed. Light switch here. Right one does LED lights. Left one. Those two lights, you can choose which one you have on and off. So you can do that. Thermostat over here is very simple for your AC and your furnace. Tap it. It'll ask what mode you want, auto, high, and low. Auto is going to allow the compressor and the AC and the furnace. Now the furnace doesn't have a compressor, but it'll allow them to cycle on and off to help regulate the temperature. If you just had your AC running on high, once it hits whatever temperature you have it set at, it's not going to stop. It'll continue to run until eventually it freezes up. So I recommend auto. It's going to allow it to cycle on and off. Hit it again. It'll ask what to bring you to cool. So the lowest your cool will go is 55, and you can use your arrows to adjust it. Hit it again. It'll go to your furnace. Furnace goes to 90. Very simple. Very, very simple. Propane detector there, that's hardwired to the 12-volt system, so there's no batteries you have to worry about changing. That is also your carbon monoxide alarm. And then your smoke alarm uses your standard 9-volt batteries. Not a whole heck of a lot in the bathroom. Just turn this on for your shower. Lift this up to turn on the shower. Do have a fan in here with lid. I recommend doing that anytime you take a shower. Toilet is very simple. As long as you're pushing the pedal, it's going to flush. Monitoring panel so you can read how full your fresh, your black, and your grays are. They were testing everything, so they need to get dumped. So that's just water in there now. Battery is always going to read full when you're plugged in. When you're filling your onboard fresh tank, which I did forget to show. Oh, I showed you where to fill it. Use this to read it's full. When it reads full, come in here, check it. One out to turn the hose off. Don't wait till you hear water gushing out everywhere to turn it off. Controls for your water heater on gas, then your water heater on electric. You can run them both at once. Gas is quicker to get hot. Electric is more efficient energy efficient, I guess, because it doesn't use any propane or anything. What I usually do is have them both on. Once the water's hot, I'll turn off gas. But if you're somewhere where you couldn't plug your camper in, then you just run it on gas. And then your water pump, if you are going to pull water from that onboard fresh tank, make sure you turn your water pump on. This is how you turn it on. When you turn it on, you hear the pump, kind of like here. You can barely even hear it. I don't like running them up dry. That might be fun. But you might be able to hear that. It'll run, and then it'll shut itself off because it's pressurized the system. Now anytime you open up a fixture anywhere, faucet or outdoor shower or whatever, you can hear the pump kick back on because it's calling for more water pressure. Slide out controls for the slide out in here. Breaker box of all your breakers and all your 12 volt fuses. I recommend carrying some extra 12 volts. It looked like they're all 15 amp. So a box of some 15 amp fuses wouldn't hurt as something to bring with you to have. Plenty of space in here for sleeping. This does fold up and down. It doesn't matter which way you have it when you travel. It does lock up. This will kind of give more room for when you turn this into a couch. Whoever's sitting underneath here will have some headroom. But you can reorganize these cushions and turn this into an extra bed. And it looks like this is 2 halves, so you could have really 5 beds in here. Or 4 beds, rather, which is really nice. Another spot for a TV in here. Coax outlet, GFCI outlet. So if they wanted to set a TV in here, they could. And then you got plenty of storage in here. It's pretty self-explanatory in the back. There's not a whole heck of a lot technological going on. There's one thing I did forget to tell you I wanted to show you. This one here, this is your main GFCI. This has the reset button on. Any outlet with this GFCI sticker on it, if it would have tripped, or if those outlets, you like plug something in, oh, it doesn't work, come back in here, reset it back here. That's probably the issue. All right. Well, that concludes the video walk of your Heartland Mallard M32. Hope you guys enjoy using this trailer. Hope you found the video informative. Until next time, goodbye.